I don't know what it is exactly. I just know it's an unpleasant, mean, and nasty business wrapped up in that 1.19 frame of black and white history lesson with the big-time middle finger up to contemporary filmmakers everywhere. Say what you will about Robert Eggers, the man has a vision. Love it or hate it, for the sum of its parts, it's an uncompromising, brutal truth to tell the best possible story and to be as historically accurate as possible. From The Witch to NOSFERATU, fans have celebrated his films and also cast him down for making overblown, drawn-out drab that you can barely understand with the subtitles on. And I'm here to say, I'm here for it. I am here for it. My favorite of his 4 releases is 2019's the brutal historical allegory of God and the devil, man and masculinity, unflinching aggression and unchecked egos. A tale of 2 lightkeepers trapped in purgatory, a selfless stretch of 4 weeks in the complete unraveling of the human psyche. Bear with me, lads. We're chumming into brackish water. Let's get into The Lighthouse. You know, if I had it my way, I would make everyone spend 3 nights with The Lighthouse. 3 nights at The Lighthouse with a different headspace each time in maybe a week's time. So you watch it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Then you report back to me over the weekend and you tell me what you think about this movie, how it affected you, what changed, what were you not paying attention to? Did you notice something different the 3rd time? Was it more boring? Were you more bought in? Did you miss something the first time, right? I would want to know exactly what happened, how your perception changed, and then ultimately where you stand at the end, because The Lighthouse is a nasty freaking fever dream, man. It is sly. It is sheepish in its approach before becoming just this unrelenting psychological fucking nightmare. Now, I may be the perfect test audience for a film like this, like The Lighthouse. In fact, I wish this film was longer. I know. I'm just going to rant here for about 5 to 10 minutes about The Lighthouse and why I love it so much, okay? So if you're looking for deep historical, allegorical meanings, whatever, you might get that, but you're not going to get a lot of I just want to see what comes out, because I think I've watched this film 10 to 12 times now. I probably watch it twice a year since it's come out. I'm not really great at math. That's pretty close, right? It's 2025. What I can tell you is that I want to spend more hours with the foghorns. I want to spend more times with the shipwrecks, more times with the sea wenches and the beacon possession. This film is 100% full fucking mood. 100%. This film is 100% atmosphere and next level madness. I suppose I owe you a story. If you're a cigar smoker or whiskey drinker, throw a couple extra cubes. Now is the time. We're going to go way back in time to talk about when I was a little kid. Since I was just a little fella, I've been obsessed with the ocean. Sharks, shipwrecks, and squaring off with King Neptune. I mean 100%. I have just an enamoration, if that's a term, for the ocean, the depths, what's under there, and the ability and the power that the sea has. And just the idea of it, man, I'm telling you right now, I had a subscription to Scuba Diver magazine when I was like 9. I begged my parents for it. I used to take the little, those little cards out you would get at Safeway, would be shopping, and I'd fill it out and I'd send it, and I would get magazines, just the trial. I think my parents would probably get pissed at me, but whatever. I've been obsessed with the ocean, okay? Now, the reason that this happened, I think, was because when I was a little kid, my Papa Howard would always do these, these feature films, these Sunday night films where, everybody had to go to bed. But because I was the oldest of 3 kids, I got to stay up, right? My Grandma Joni and my Papa Howard would put on these epic feature films, and they would end their evenings on the couch. And for some reason, I was allowed to watch this film. 2 made a crazy impression on me. The first was probably the It miniseries, right? Those back-to-back evenings or whatever, that jacked me up. That made me a horror fan for life, but so did Jaws. And so did this little film called The Sea Wolf. If you're a Seawolf fan out there, we want to talk about being a little kid and being scared to death of like the ocean and how powerful that can be. Like the Seawolf changed my life when I seen that. So did Jaws, but for some reason the green of the ocean, the man overboard, right, just terrified me. I was obsessed with the ocean. I was obsessed with the sea. The tales of sailors and giant sea creatures, pirates, buried treasure, unfathomable depths, surging waterman, that was my thing. That was my Pinterest as a little kid, if you will. Lighthouses, death by sea, sharks, pirates, all of that shit. The Lighthouse is my shit. It's how I was raised, and I've just been obsessed with this style. Like what can happen because of the ocean, the power, the madness that it can drive people. I am such a huge fan, and The Lighthouse as a film, sorry, that was a long tangent. It offers no quarter, okay? It suffers no fools from the get-go, and even the aspect ratio. This is a brutal film that is unfucking unnervingly brutal. The droning sounds of the foghorns, the smattering winds, the plumb rustic terrain, the salt water, the shit water, the company, the wicked seabirds.
Damn you, let Neptune strike you dead. Thunder crack winds low. Hark, Triton. Hark, bellow bit off. Father the sea king rise from the depths. Full foul in all his fury. Black waves teeming with salt foam. No smother this young mouth with pungent slime to choke ye, engorging your organs till you turn blue and bloated with bilge and rotting. Can scream no I
love The Lighthouse. The Lighthouse at first blush is probably hardly seen as a horror film. That's often what I hear people say. I don't get it. How can an isolated setting cut off from the world force into some sort of half-assed servitude full of evil seabirds, demonic sea sirens, shanty wenches, disgusting bodily fluids, fucked up fetishes and fantasies, crustaceans, mermaids, and gasoline in a 4-week sentence even be scary? And I say to those people, you're missing the point. You're missing the point entirely. This film and the way that it's shot is so damn deliberate. It's like you're caught in a storm with no cover, each day worse than the last, never being able to catch your bearings. The Lighthouse is a godsend. The Lighthouse, of the 10 or 12 times I've seen this film, my mind and mood has changed. I'm getting worked up. I'm getting worked up because people are going to tell me that they hate it. Now, Robert Eggers is not my favorite director, but because of this film, he's up there as one of the best filmmakers out there making movies. The Witch took me a bunch of tries, right? The Northman I liked immediately, but that is a very just meat and potatoes. I kill, I find mom, I avenge her, right? The Lighthouse, though, is it just a cruel character study, a two men forced into an unwinnable hand in dire straits? I tend to think of it more of like an allegory, and I don't know exactly what that allegory is anymore. I've studied it, I've thought about it, I've expanded my mind, I've watched it in different headspaces, right? I just know it's unpleasant, it's mean-spirited, it's nasty business, right? Interpreting The Lighthouse opens up a treasure trove of ways to break it down with subsequent viewings. The use of aesthetics, the mythological symbolism, peppered in the transformations, it just is overwhelming to see. Everything is like you're following this claustrophobic fucked situation. The camera is so smashed in. We got to talk about the visuals and the cinematic choices really quick, okay? I'm going to try to hammer some of these things out and then let you guys get on with your night. And if you haven't seen The Lighthouse and you're sick of me yammering about it, get out there and watch this damn film. The film employs this 1.19 aspect ratio, which creates this intensely squished, claustrophobic feel. The tight framing, it forces the viewer to feel the character's proximity. You can't get away from this evil SOB, right? It amplifies the tension. It makes the psychological strain so much more worse, so much more palpable, so much more believable. And I think that as the walls are closing in, it's reflecting this mounting paranoia, this descent into madness, and I am all about it, dude. Then we got to talk about the black and white cinematography, right? It does contribute to this eerie kind of timeless quality of the silent films, that classic horror shit that I really, really like. I don't even know how it looks like it should have come out in the 1800s or like, before NOSFERATU. It's so timeless in the way that it's shot. I think it's just incredible, man. The choice when they strip away the color, they focus on the raw emotion. Those stark color contrasts, they highlight the characters' just tumultuous, just terrible relationship. And so you're just stuck in there in this black and white hellhole, and it feels right. It feels comforting. It feels warm. It feels gross. It feels disgusting. The whole pulsing, the drowning of the foghorn as well, the sound design is so unnervingly effective, especially the crashing waves, the rain-pounded living quarters, the creaks of the lighthouse. The score works you into this immense fever pitch where you can feel that isolation. And if someone's sleeping next to you and all of a sudden, you get that foghorn. My wife, the first couple times she watched it, she's like, I don't like this movie because of that sound. She gets it now. She gets it now. I've watched it so many times. This is a visceral stopgap for your psychological state. It is so damn effective. And then we can talk about the different ways you can interpret this with the psychoanalysis, right? You can think about the Oedipus, the Oedipus, not Oedipus. We're talking about opossums here? Just kidding. The Oedipus complex, right? The dynamic between Thomas Wake and Ephraim Winslow. Winslow, dude. I mean, William Dafoe, I'm stuttering. William Dafoe is an absolute national treasure, but Robert Pattinson, man, he has really come on since the Twilight movies, which I did not watch, but him in this film, I can't even tell you how good he is, dude. Winslow's struggle with the authority and his desire to assert himself against Dafoe's dominance, it mirrors that Oedipus where you're grappling with fate, you're grappling with authority, your own identity. It's this battle of wills. It's this familiar, this primal conflict, right? Where I go back and forth. Was his dad, is the lighthouse the mom and the dad's trying to keep it from him and he's in love with it? I've taken that route when I've thought about it. I've thought about the different phallic symbols, right? The lighthouse as this symbol, it can be seen representing power and authority. It stands tall, it's imposing, it's this oppressive force. And, Willem Dafoe exerts it over Pattinson's character, and it's just unnerving, it's uncomfortable, it's got tension, it's this charged atmosphere where masculinity is both celebrated, critiqued, it draws on domination and submission at the same time. Oh, God, this film. And then think about Prometheus, right? Think about Prometheus, who defied the gods to bring fire to humanity. Winslow's quest for enlightenment, his quest for the lamp, his quest to get to the beacon, right? That autonomy, it confronts those dire consequences where the rebellion against him can be seen as this modern kind of, it's a retelling of that myth, the Prometheus myth, where forever that sacrifice, the knowledge, that burden that comes with it, right? Where he's forced to be on that island and the crows peck his eyes out forever. Prometheus is pretty spot on. And then I've also thought about, Dante's Inferno. I've thought about how this is just different levels of hell. I've thought, is Willem Dafoe's character ever even there? Is it just him losing I'm getting goosebumps, man. I've really thought about a lot with this movie, and I got goosebumps. Oh, my legs are cold now. I love The Lighthouse so damn much. I love the filmmaking. I love the location. I love the practical effects. I love the sea wenches. I'm uncomfortable by it. I hate the sounds, right? The body fluids. It's just gross. When he's trying to lug up that oil, the whole thing is like douche, 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 kadoosh, kadoosh, right? Every step, and the guy's like, you're trying to burn the whole thing down. He won't even take a shot of whiskey. He won't drink with Dafoe. He pours it out. They fight. It's just an incredible film. I think it's perfect. I think it's a 10 out of 10. Tension, existential dread. The Lighthouse is this tapestry of psychological, mythological reference, unique aesthetics, the sound design, everything flawless. It just pulls me in, dude, like a siren song. I just immediately, and I'm locked the fuck in. The Lighthouse, it rips.